I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
Persons actually killed and murdered. There have been untold bombings of homes and churches, and nothing has been done about it.
I was raised by a grandmother, my father's mother, in a little village in Arkansas. And my grandmother was aware that she was an African American. She told me that black people were as good as white people.
I don't know that there was any such thing as walking away from my blackness, walking away from the fact that I lived all of my life in, let's say, Harlem, in New York City.
There were white schools and black schools. There was a double standard all over this country, and particularly in certain southern states, so I became aware of that as long as I can remember. Therefore, I had no choice but to prove that I was not a second-class citizen.
Our race covered or colored everything. How do we go to school? How do we earn a living? How do we like where we live? We'd like to move or not.
My father was a race man. I mean, he was very black in his cultural tastes. So we grew up with a sense of destiny and a sense of who we were and what we were supposed to accomplish.
Civil rights movement was important to me because it's important to what I do. And what I do is important to the civil rights movement.
It starts when you become conscious of your conditions. And of course, the older you get, the more power you get, the more education you get, the greater you can contribute to the fight, the struggle.
You know, it begins with the Emmett Till story in the 1950s.
Boiler was so badly damaged that we couldn't hardly just tell who he was.
And I think that became a part of the consciousness of all black people in this country. And I don't think any other one event was as powerful as that one was. But the other part, of course, is Dr. King was active.
We were taken over, the New Yorkers. We were so sophisticated, we thought, until we heard those Atlantans, the wonderful men of God, and also men of the cloth, and men of the language.
What murdered these poor girls? The apathy and the complacency of many Negroes who will sit down on their stools of do nothing and not engage in creative protest to get rid of this evil system.
You have to be a part of what's going on. You have to inject yourself in what is going on.
I got on a train and went to Mississippi in June of 1964. When you find out immediately that 3 of your members of people who have gone to Mississippi to do the same thing that you're there to do have disappeared, and the word is that they're probably dead, you begin to see and to realize and to feel what a nightmare you've walked into.
Well, I believe it's a big publicity hoax, but if they're dead, I feel like they asked for it.
Discrimination doesn't stop because you play football. We had a saying in the old days, you're in the house or you're in the field. And I never wanted to be known as a person that was in the house. You know, I wanted to be in the field with the people.
Godfrey Cambridge and I were so excited that we put together a play we called Cabaret for Freedom. We got all the men and women, the singers and actors, and Miss Cicely Tyson, a number of people like Diane Carroll, Leslie Uggams, anyone who sat on the stage, Nina Simone. They just took the stage. It was a big success. We gave the money to the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. It happened at that time that Bayard Rustin, who was Martin Luther King's Northern representative, was leaving the organization. Bayard Rustin suggested I would be a good person to take that position.
When I first met Dr. King, It was at an event. He said how the show was important to me, and I said, I'm going to be leaving the show, and you cannot. Do you know what you mean? Because this is a new image that has ever been on TV. You came on TV, and we said, that's who we are.
The word champion is big. It's like, okay, I'm a champion. Thank you.
I don't see it as giving back. I see the whole package as something that I wanted to do.
When someone says, I'm a champion for social change, and they mean it, that's truly a compliment. I mean, I truly appreciate that.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful. It means that I have not been forgotten.
Why are we involved? Why are we doing this and keep doing? Why is it necessary? Because it is always going to be needed.
You keep on fighting, and long as you fight, as long as you really, really get in there and try and do what you can do, it's golden. It's golden.
How can frightened people change anything?
They ain't no other kind of people, Charles. I'm scared all the time, but I do my job. If you ain't scared, you don't have no need for guts.
What you gonna do now?
I'm gonna get some sleep, and I'm going to work tomorrow.